Welcome back to Weber Cup 13. Nothing between these two bowlers, ranked number 1 and 2 on the World Bowling Tour. They're a little bit like human computers, and they've got data feeding in all the time, and that's what helps them read the oil they can't see. So they have to just judge what's happening with the ball reaction and with what they're leaving. And I don't think leaving a 10 followed by a 6 is the sort of data you want being fed back, is it?
You're quite right about the oil. They can't see where the oil is, and the bowling ball going down the lane moves it around, and so 1 minute it's there and the next minute it's not there. It makes changes. Mika leaves a single 4-pin.
Well, he lofted that one so high, he got a double bounce on that.
Yeah, must have got his thumb a little bit stuck in there, but that's what a sign of a double bounce is. But he had the chance to make 2 strikes in a row for the first double and couldn't take it, unfortunately. So again, can only be a single pin spare.
So Team USA still with a minor advantage, and those maximums apply if the players were to strike off from here right through to the end of the game. Then that's what they would score. But as we saw in the Baker, it's not easy to score big in a Baker match, but this looks to be quite a low scoring condition, and both players are going to be working very hard here to find out the kind of line they want to be playing.
Of course, the other thing, Simon, is, as I mentioned earlier, these bowling pins are brand new, and they do actually take a bit of hitting to get them down. And normally, if the pins have had about maybe 100, 150 games on them, they start jumping around all over the place, rattling 10 pins. But when they're brand new, you've really got to be very, very precise. You have to be in the pocket with the right rotation, the right speed, and hopefully set up that chain reaction that's going to give you the strike.
Fagan. There we go. There we go. He's taken it all on board and come up with a quite beautiful shot there.
Yeah, better reaction in the back end. Carries all 10 for his first strike in frame number 3. He's gone 9 spare, 9 spare. Strike. Koivuniemi is spare, strike, spare. And there you see Mika just changing his thumb slug. Now, what that is, the bowlers get their thumb drilled up, and it's an insert which they can take out of one ball and put in the other ball, because it's so important for their thumb to be absolutely precise and snug in the ball. So they use these inserts to change from one ball to the other.
Now listen out on the audio. The mics next to the show lane should pick this up, but you'll hear a pop as the ball goes. There you go. It sounds quite faint, but when you're right next to the bowlers, it's louder. That's the thumb coming out of the ball. And I'm afraid it's not coming out quite right for Mika at the moment.
He's almost embarrassed at that shot. I mean, it was a fabulous looking shot right in the 1-3 pocket. The ball is so strong and powerful, though. It's cut through between the 1 and the 3 pin. Should have gone onto the 5 pin and then deflected onto the 9 pin, but there was so much power. It didn't deflect from the 5, went straight through and left the solitary stone 9 pin, as they say, and that unfortunately should have been a strike. It's only a spare.
So more pressure onto those experienced shoulders. And Major Mika, not one to hold back up there. He'll show his feelings.
I guess we may be fortunate that the players aren't wearing body microphones, because we may pick up something in Finnish there that would have to get translated. It's Fagan working on a strike, looking for a double. And unusually with these number 1 and 2 player in the world, it's not a double. We haven't had a double yet.
This is a scrap, isn't it?
Well, it's they're locking horns, aren't they? Chris Barnes, the American captain's having a bit of problem as well. He's wonders why there's not enough more strikes. Oscar's telling him that Mika's the man.
I bet Professor Barnes has got a few theories, though. That's for sure. Fagan then to tidy up. The second 10-pin spare that he's had to make so far in this game.
The scores are level after 3 frames, 59 each. And as you can see, the maximums are identical. If they all strike off 259 apiece, it would be.
And if it does stay level, Cass, then we do go to a roll-off. Now, there we go, 259, 259, but surely it's not going to stay the same.
If it does, it will be a 2-frame roll-off, frames 9 and 10 for each bowler. So they will actually, they could strike all the way. They'd scored 60, but let's not go there yet. There's a long way to go.
That's much more like it. A convincing strike there from Mika.
Yes, Dominic Barrett liked that one. Tells his captain he did. And yeah, it was a great looking shot. Lofted it down the lane. Lots of rotation on the ball. Hit perfectly, right in the 1-3 pocket. Carried all 10 pins, no trouble. Sometimes makes you wonder why that 10 pin does stand up. With identical looking balls going into the pocket. So whatever Mika's done, Mike Fagan has to do.
Yes, cue the song. Anything you can do. Fagan. Oh, he doesn't like it. Doesn't like it. You may have seen him just look away after that release because he knew that it was going to cut up and go through the head pin. It's actually not got a bad count on that one, so it's not done too much damage. Could have been worse.
It could have been a lot worse, Simon. Yeah, as you say, high through the head pin, it's chopped straight through, and unusually it's left the 3 pin, which for a right-hander, it's one of the pocket pins, the 1-3 pocket we talk about. So hard and straight again. And a spare, but he falls 11 pins behind now.
So once again, this game changes, and Koivuniemi was the man that stepped up to try and win that Baker game. He had a golden opportunity to do it, but couldn't find the strike, or the first of 2 strikes that he needed in the 10th frame. And now has a chance to make amends, and once again he's been handed an opportunity. But I don't think we've seen the last twist in this particular match.
Well, we're at the halfway stage, and this is frame number 6 with Mika coming up, looking for 2 strikes in a row, and absolutely drills it. Buries it deep in the pocket, and that's 2 strikes he's looking for. Well done.
There's a much more leisurely progression to the pocket, but it's still thrown with a lot of force.
You can see the rotation on the ball there as it turns over. You can see the finger holes rotating, and that's the power as it drives through the pin deck. Sets up that chain reaction, and that's how you get 10 pins.
And yeah, that's an important point to make, isn't it, Cass, that the ball doesn't hit all the pins in a strike. It's the pins hitting other pins that gets you the strike.
Yes, it's a chain reaction, and you're quite right.
Oh, no. No.
Dear, oh dear. We've seen that before this evening. The 7-10 off of a pocket hit. I'm going to tell you about these pins, which are brand spanking new, and their chiselled bottoms are very, very square.
You and your chiselled bottoms,
Yes,
Cass, honestly.
Let's say they're square bottoms, but you have to hit them hard to get them down, and the 7-10 is going to be an open frame for Mike Fagan, which unfortunately is just may well be the turning point in this game.
Well, I think it's a bit of everything. I think it's some nerves. I think it's a new condition. I think it's the new pins, and I think it is just the whole event itself. It's a big event for these players, and I think it's getting to them. Even these guys, even 1 and 2 in the world, are feeling it.
Simon, you're quite right, because they normally play singles for their singles play in tournaments for themselves. Over here in the Weber Cup, of course, they can play some singles, but they play doubles and team event as well. So they're not just bowling for themselves; they're bowling for their teammates and for their country or continent.
Trying to jump over that open frame, and he doesn't. That's what you need to do in this sort of format. If your opponent throws an open, you've got to stamp on it, and Koivuniemi hasn't done it, and effectively he's let Fagan off the hook there.
Well, I mean, he can make a spare here, which after a double is quite good, but yeah, he could have extended his lead further, but it's still quite enough. It's sufficient. I'm sure he's going to take these pins away quite nicely.
Well, the commentator's curse strikes, I'm afraid.
It's
never looked comfortable, did he?
Simon, it's all my fault. I shouldn't have said that he's going to spare these easily. This is a hard spare ball. It goes straight. It shouldn't hook at all. And it pretty much doesn't, does it? It just chops that 6 pin straight off the 10. And he's looking for it. And it's not worked. Open frame. Oh dear, Mika. And you can tell by the look on his face. Absolute anguish.
praying for the right outcome, but the bowling god's not listening. And we're back to level pegging. Maximums at 225 once again, and back to square one. I'll tell you what, in the land of only one strike, a double would make you king.
Absolutely, yes. And there's the king of swing, right on cue, straight in the pocket, and strikes in frame number 7. He stays all level between Europe and USA on that maximum 225